Join me in making my Christmas tree bracelet. I'm calling this one a Christmas Tree Farm Bracelet because we've got many trees here and each one is decorated a little bit differently. I like to think of them like little sugar cookies, and I can decorate each one with as much icing as I want. Check out the list below in the description. We'll have everything that you need to make this bracelet there. Once you gather your materials, let's get started. We're going to start by picking up a stop bead. I'm going to use the 8/0 in the brown color for my stop bead. So all I've done here is I've cut myself a length of thread, threaded my needle with it, and then I picked up one of my 8/0s and took my needle and thread back around the bead so that the bead was kind of caught in that thread, and that will just stop the beads from falling off as I work. And you can see I don't really need much of a thread tail after that bead. So I've got one of my 8/0s here in the brown color. I'm going to pick up a 15/0 and another 8/0, again in that same brown color. So I've got these 3 beads on now. I'm going to pick up another 8/0, a 15, and an 8/0, and then I'm going to go back through my stop bead, that 8/0, my 15/0, and the next 8/0. And as you pull your thread through the beads, you'll see you now have an 8, a 15, and an 8 sitting directly below the 8, 15, and 8 that you just added. Or if you kind of turn it to the side here, you see you've got 2 sort of stacks of beads next to each other. So now coming out of our 8/0 here, I'm going to pick up a 15/0, one of my gold 8/0s, and another 15. And I'm going to go through the 8, 15, and the 8 and give that a little pull and continue on through the 15 and the 8 so that my thread is now coming out of that 8/0. I'm going to pick up 2 of my 11/0s in the green, and then I'm going to pass through the top hole of the Ava. So if you look at your Avas here, they look like a little A. So the top hole here is going to be the hole that is going through the point in the A, and then I've got a hole running through each one of the legs on the Ava bead. So I've got the point, which is the top hole here, and then 2 on either side of the Ava below. So I'm taking picking up 2 11/0s in the green and then picking up my Ava through that top hole. Pick up another 2 of your 11/0s, and then you're going to go back through that gold 8/0 and pull your thread. Go through the 2 11/0s and go back through that top hole of your 8/0. Pick up 4 11/0s, and then we're going to go through the hole here, the bottom hole here on the side, same side where our thread is coming out. So we're going to start building that little border of 11/0s around our Ava. We're going to pick up one 15/0. We're going to pick up our next Ava through that same hole, through the top hole here, and then pick up another 15/0 and go through the next leg of our Ava and pull that. And you can see here we're starting to now build our little Christmas tree. I'm going to pick up another 4 11/0s, and I'm going to continue, I'm going to finish building the border here around the top Ava. So I'm going to go through the point, the top hole here of the Ava, down the side through the 4 11/0s, through the leg of that Ava, and through the 15/0, and through the point top hole of the bottom ava here that I have sitting below. I'm going to pick up 3 of my 11-ohs, and now I'm going to go through the leg here of my ava. I'm going to pick up an 8-oh in the brown color for the trunk, a 15-oh, and another 8-oh, and then pass through the next leg of the ava. Pick up 3 of our 11-ohs and pass through the point here of our ava. And we're going to go down through the 3 seed beads on the side and through the leg of the ava, the 8-oh, the 15, and the 8-oh. So now we have our tree started. We haven't completely finished the border, but we'll come around and do that on our next pass over the bracelet. We're going to build our little trees to the length that we need them for the bracelet, and then we're going to continue building and adding another layer once we get the length that we need. So here now, to move on to the next tree, I'm going to take an 8-oh, a 15, and an 8-oh in my trunk colors and pass through the 8, 15, and 8 that's running between my ava. And you can see here now we're just starting over with the step right here at the beginning. I'm going to go down through the 8-oh, the 15, and the 8 to get to the end here of my project. So my thread's coming out at the very end. And now I'm going to pick up a 15, a gold 8-oh, and a 15, go back through the 8, the 15, and the 8, go through the 15 and the 8, a couple of 2 11-ohs in the green, and now I'm back to picking up my ava. So you can see now I'm just starting to repeat the pattern here that I started with my first gold seed bead. So we're going to continue here until we've got the length that we need, and then we'll come back through and add some more embellishment, another layer of beads here to fill this out and make it look more like a Christmas tree. When I've got my bracelet to the length that I need it, I'm going to add one end of my clasp. So coming out of my trunk here at that last 8-oh, I'm going to pick up an 8-oh, and I'm using the infinite clasp here in this antique antique copper. I think that looks really nice with my trunk, like how the copper continues that sort of wood feel. So I'm going to pick up one 8-oh and go through my clasp, and then pick up another 8-oh and back through the 8, 15, and 8. And you want to make sure that your clasp is sitting correctly. So you want to make sure that it's sitting upright here. And I'm going to pass through the 8, my clasp, and the 8 again. And back through the 8, 15, and 8. And I'm going to do this one more time so that I have this clasp nice and secure. So there is the one side of my clasp. So I'm going to continue here. I'm going to go up through the 8, the 15, and the 8 between my ava. And I'm also going to go through the leg of my ava. So continue on here and go through the leg of that ava bead. I'm going to go up through 2 of my 11-oh seed beads and pick up 5 of my 11-ohs. Pass through the 4 11-ohs on the side of the top ava and continue and go through the 2 seed beads at the top. Continue through the 8-oh And then we'll come down here on the other side through the 2 11-ohs and through the next 4. We'll pick up another 5 of our 11-ohs and down through the last 2 seed beads on the bottom of my Eva. Now I have the basic outline on my Christmas tree. So I've got my green going around the whole tree. And I'm going to build a little bit up here on the end so that I can make it a little bit more tree-like at the bottom. I'm going to pick up 3 of my 11-oh seed beads. And I'm going to skip that last 11-oh that I picked up. And I'm going to go through the 2 11-ohs and then the 11-oh that is attached to my Eva bead. And pull that tight. And that helps to give the end here a little bit more of a realistic feel, so that we've got something kind of going past our Eva bead, and it helps to give it a little bit more of like the feeling of a tree at the bottom with the little, with its little branches going out. So I'm gonna do this another time here. I'm gonna pick up 2 seed beads and 1 for the end. So I've got 3 seed beads. I'm going to ignore the one here at the end and go through the next 2. And now I'm going to skip 1 seed bead and go through the next seed bead on my Eva. And this will help position my seed beads so that they're sitting straighter and next to the first bit of fringe here. So this helps give me a little bit more of a realistic bottom to my tree. If you want, you can keep going up the side and add more fluff and fringe, but I like the way it looks like this. And as I was experimenting, I thought it got a little out of hand. I didn't think I quite needed that much fringe. So I like how this is simple and it just gives you that little bit of like wave at the bottom there. So it looks like natural branches. So now I'm going to go around to the other side of my tree. And I'm just going back through the 11-ohs here, bordering my tree, and through the 8-oh, and through my 11-ohs here on the other side, until I get down to that last, the 11-ohs, yes, the 11-ohs, until I get down through that last 11-oh. And I'm going to repeat the same steps where I pick up 3 11-ohs, skip the last one, and go up through 2, and the first one there attached to my Eva. Pick up another 3, let those slide down, skip 1, pass through 2, and then skip over 1 11 and go through the next. And then you've got your second little bit of fringe there that helps to give that tree a little bit more of a natural shape. So now I'm going to continue on here, and I'm going to go up to my next tree. So I'm just going back through my 11-ohs, through that 8-oh in between, through the 15, and I'm going to snake back through these beads in the center here on my trunk, and through the leg of my Eva. And so I'm back to beginning, back to where I started, and I'm going to repeat the same steps here so that I pick up 5 seed beads around the corner or the little leg here of my bottom Eva and add the little fringe here to give it more of that natural look. Now you can also embellish it with some crystals if you want to give it a little bit of a look like it's got garland and Christmas balls on it. So you can do that as well. And I'm going to go around and finish this, adding my tree, adding my branches and the outline to my tree. And then I'll come back here and show you if you want to add some little Christmas balls, some decorations, one way that you can do that. I'm going to show you how I add garland to my trees. You can change this up if you want a little bit. There's really no right or wrong way to do it, but I'm going to show you how I do it and give you some ideas so you kind of have a jumping off point, and you can then take it from there and make whatever kind of tree and decorations you want. So I like to connect the green seed beads on either side with the garland and use those as my anchor points to kind of go back and forth here. So I'm coming out of the top here through that second seed bead, between the second and the third seed bead. And I'm going to pick up a 15-0, a tiny crystal. You want a 2 or 3 millimeter crystal, and a couple more 15-0s. And then I'm just going to drape this across my project, across my little tree here. And I'm going to find where I want to connect it on the other side. If you need another seed bead, go ahead and add another seed bead. If it's too long, take off a seed bead. There's no, like I said, there's really no right or wrong. You're going to just sort of eyeball this and see what looks good to you. And I'm going to go through the seed bead on the other side of my Ava here, where I want to anchor my garland. Now I think 3 strips of garland looks nice and it doesn't overpower your bead. So you roughly want to go down about 1/3 on this side and then have one cross about 2/3 of the way down on this other side and then connect to the bottom. So we're making a little zigzag here. I'm going to pick up a couple seed beads. I'm going to pick up another crystal and some more seed beads. And again, you can also position these seed beads wherever you want them to be. I'm just trying to stagger them so that they're not right next to each other and they're not all clustered. So here I need to add a couple more seed beads to get to where I want to be, which is about 2/3 of the way down on this opposite side. And then once you know where you want to take your thread and needle, pass through that bead and pull your garland across. So here I've got 2 little pieces of garland, and I'm going to pick up some more seed beads, a crystal, and again some more seed beads here to get me to the other side where I want to be. This would be really cute too with pearls if you wanted to do some pearls so it looked almost like a little string of popcorn. So lots of options here when it comes to decorating. Tiny little 2 or 3 millimeter metal beads would be cute too and make them look like beautiful shiny silver and gold ornaments. And then again, I'm crisscrossing here, crossing over my tree and just finding where I want to anchor it on the other side here. I want a couple more seed beads. And pass through the seed bead here where I want to anchor my garland. And I'm going through a little piece of that fringe here. So I'm going to go through the end of my fringe, skip the bead, just like I did when I added the fringe, and go back through the beads along the border. And then at this point, I'm done with adding that embellishment, that garland. So I can tie off my thread if I want, or if I'm doing this as I work on my bracelet, I can just follow my seed bead pattern around and continue on to the next tree. So here's one idea on how you can embellish it. I think it's really cute. And I'm going to try a couple different embellishments as I work on my bracelet and show you what each one of those looks like. Here's my finished bracelet. I've added my garland to all of my trees and I've made them all different. I have one here that just has silver seed beads with crystals, and I have some 2 millimeter pearls here for a popcorn and cranberry look, some seed beads and pearls, Again, some seed beads and crystals, and then plain seed beads here in just a silver color. The other end of the clasp is going to be added exactly the same way as the first end. So when you've worked your way to this other end here, you're just going to repeat those same steps and complete that for a fun, very fun bracelet with a variety of different trees on it. This reminds me of making sugar cookies and maybe sometimes getting a little carried away with the icing, um, which can be really easy to do. So thank you all for watching. I hope that you have fun making this. Please post on Facebook and show us how you made your little trees. One final thought for you. I think this would also be really adorable just as a pair of earrings. So I'm going to make some earrings as well and show you what that looks like. We'll just put that probably in the photo for this video too. So play around with that idea too. Some earrings, maybe a zipper pull. As with any bracelet, you can take an element from it and turn it into an earring, a brooch, a ring, anything like that that you can make. You can always shrink this down and make it smaller. So, thanks everyone for watching.